I want to focus my remarks this evening on the common challenges we face in the Indo-Pacific. In particular, I want to share New Zealand's recent initiative to lift the level of our investment and kotahitanga, or togetherness, in the Pacific region. New Zealand is a liberal democracy located in the far south of the South Pacific. We see ourselves as part of the broad Indo-Pacific region, but within that, we are a Pacific country. We are connected by culture, by history, and by shared interests with other Pacific Islander nations. We see ourselves as both in and of the Pacific. We are also a small country when compared to the global powers whose impact and voice is far greater than our own, and this colours how we see the world. We all want a safe, secure, and prosperous Indo-Pacific region, from the North Pacific to the South Pacific. This is our common vision, but there are challenges to this vision. Across geography and domains, challenges once regarded as future trends are fast becoming present and persistent realities. Strategic competition and territorial disputes threaten to compromise our respective national interests. We are particularly seeing this play out in areas where our national interests converge, such as busy maritime routes. In New Zealand's immediate neighbourhood, we are also seeing complex disruptors of a scope and magnitude previously not seen. These include cyber attacks that compromise our financial, communications, and political integrity, transnational organised crime, and terrorism that threatens our social fabric. A critical complex disruptor, the impact of which we already see and has been discussed tonight already, is climate change. And I want to draw attention to this particular challenge for my area. For New Zealand and the Pacific, climate change is not simply a feature of the strategic environment. It will have far-reaching implications across many aspects of our society. Climate change will exacerbate water shortages, food insecurity, loss of livelihood, and impact public health. Further challenging areas around the world with limited resources or weakened governance. When not well managed, these social impacts of climate change have the potential to heighten security concerns in the Pacific and extending into both maritime, Indo-Pacific, and further afield. From the New Zealand defence perspective, climate change will be a driver of operations, with greater demand for responses in the wake of devastating severe weather events. It's important to acknowledge that the varied manifestations are affecting communities in my region today, and we see long-term security implications. More than ever, the New Zealand Defence Force will be required to play a role in efforts to curb the impacts of climate change. In responding to this security challenge and others, New Zealand Defence is committed to working closely with like-minded partners who have the resources, capabilities, and convening power to significantly enhance Pacific security. And we are working to lift our engagement and invest in Pacific regional security architecture. I've spoken about some of the common challenges that we are facing in both the Indo-Pacific and the Pacific region. I want to address how New Zealand is responding to some of these challenges in partnership with our Pacific neighbours. The New Zealand government's Pacific Reset, announced in March 2018, is a whole-of-government effort to lift our investment and kotahitanga, togetherness, as part of the Pacific community and changes our mindset to address the increasing complex issues in our region. The reset has been a significant shift in what New Zealand does in the region and how we engage. Our emphasis has been on encouraging engagement in the region that aligns with and supports Pacific priorities and values and contributes to the security, prosperity and sovereignty of the region and its people. We are moving away from the donor-recipient dynamics of the past and building deeper and more mature partnerships. This not only enables frank conversations about shared policy, priorities and challenges, but we see our refreshed approach to the Pacific as a contribution to the international rules-based order. It is just as important to promote and safeguard laws and norms, including transparency, in the Pacific as it is further afield. As a small country, our stake in the international rules-based order is fundamental and concrete. Firstly, it is the foundation of our security, and it has broadly led to the peaceful coexistence and cooperation of states, large and small. Second, it has given us and other small nations such as ours an equal seat at the table. The order enables us to pursue prosperity and independent foreign policy. Third, the laws, norms and institutions of a healthy order preserve stability and safeguard against conflict and uncertainty. So how are we engaging? Partnership and strong people-to-people ties have long been a hallmark of the New Zealand Defence approach in the Pacific. In October last year, New Zealand Defence released the Advancing Pacific Partnerships Defence Assessment. This assessment puts forward a vision of an intergenerational investment in a secure, stable, and resilient Pacific, achieved by advancing our partnerships and supporting existing regional security architectures. Some of the key elements of this partnership include planning and acting together, using inclusive, participatory dialogue and understanding Pacific stories, thinking broadly about an expanded concept of security and the broader community, and building resilience together. Many of the challenges we face today are global. However, we require innovative and new locally devised solutions to combat these issues. Some of the ways we have done this is through implementing new initiatives. For example, small initiatives. We recently developed the Pacific Leader Development Program. This is developed by the New Zealand Defence Force in partnership with our security sector counterparts in Papua New Guinea, Fiji, Tonga, and Vanuatu, and with the support of our Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. The long-term goal of the Pacific Leader Development Program is to work with each partner country to build leadership capacity and to potentially and eventually expand the program into other Pacific Island countries. It will assist our partners in developing and implementing their own leadership frameworks across their security sector and other government agencies. The program will also build cooperation across the Pacific through a network of leaders to support regional security issues. New Zealand Defence also is working to contribute to democracy and good governance. We've been working with Fiji on the review of their military justice system. This is a Fiji-led initiative which supports their vision of good governance structures within the Republic of the Fiji military forces. New Zealand Defence also supported the Solomon Islands by providing a package of support for their national general election in April 2019. We also provided logistical support to the New Zealand-led unarmed police support mission which assisted with the Bougainville referendum. This contributed to advancing democracy and the democratic participation of both the Solomon Islands and the Bougainvillea peoples. Lastly, how can we achieve a truly democratic society when half of the population is underrepresented in the rules-based system we rely on? The Women, Peace and Security agenda is critical to positive peace and security outcomes. New Zealand strongly believes that this work is most effectively progressed together through a collaborative and multilateral approach. Last August, New Zealand co-hosted with Samoa a Women, Peace and Security Summit in Apia. This promoted the visibility and implementation of the global Women, Peace and Security agenda in the Pacific and encouraged women's participation at all levels of the peace and security governance in the Pacific. The summit encouraged the discussion and highlighted the importance of meaningful participation of women in the security sector through leadership positions, including in the military context. It supported the Pacific region's efforts for gender equality, and this also underscored the fact that regardless of geographic location, gender diversity leads to better outcomes and solutions for communities during times of peace building and conflict situations. To further strengthen these efforts, the New Zealand Defence Force launched the Pacific Defence Gender Network to promote gender equality across those militaries and provide an avenue for Pacific militaries to engage and share learnings of their own on this important topic. So what are the New Zealand Defence Force observations that I can offer to this group today? This is neatly summed up in the word I've used already, kotahitanga, togetherness. This is a collective action in my culture, the Māori culture. What I've discussed today are some common global challenges and how we're addressing them in our neighbourhood and in our way. New Zealand looks to address these challenges by building valued, sustainable partnerships across our Pacific nations. The Pacific Reset defines and shapes how we engage with the Pacific region, the Indo-Pacific, and the wider world. It's a significant shift in how we engage in the region, as well as what we do. And people are at the centre of what we do. We see our refreshed Pacific Reset and partnership approach to the Pacific as a contribution to the international rules-based order, and we look forward to continuing to work in partnership with Indo-Pacific countries to amplify the Pacific voices around the world. Kia ora tātou, thank you very much.